So UFC 4 has been out for a few days now, and you're probably just about to finish up your career as a UFC GOAT. After you wrap things up in career mode, you're probably like me and want to go over to Fight Now and make some dream matchups that would even make Sean Shelby proud. But there's nothing worse than having that perfect fight in mind, only to scroll through the fighters 2 or 3 times to realize your favorite fighter's not in the game. They didn't make the cut this year. And what's even worse is when that fighter's on an awesome run, in the top 10, or just has been in the UFC long enough to justify a spot in EA's 2020 Brawler. So let's check them out. In no particular order, here are the top 5 fighters missing from UFC 4. Number 5, Gregory Gillespie. Gregory Gillespie, or the self-proclaimed best fisherman in MMA, made his UFC debut back in 2016. Gillespie strung together 5 finishes, and many believed his wrestling would match up very well with the champion, Khabib. But before fighting the Eagle, the UFC put in front of him Kevin Lee, who was 1-3 in his last 4 fights, as a sort of test for Gillespie. But that test would end badly as Kevin Lee viciously knocked out Gillespie in the first round. Gillespie's ranking and skill set alone should earn him a spot on the roster. It also would have made the roster feel just a little bit more updated. Nonetheless, UFC fans alike would love to use the New York native to fight the likes of Donald Cerrone, Paul Felder, and Dan Hooker. Number 4, Pedro Munoz. So, you know when you're playing UFC 4 and you and your opponent throw caution to the wind, just throwing hook after hook, not caring who gets knocked out? Because, you know, it's a video game? Well, apparently that's what Pedro Munoz and Cody Garbrandt were doing in their UFC 235 Fight of the Night clash. Munoz lured Garbrandt into a gunfight, clipping him and knocking him out, picking up his biggest win to date. Munoz is also currently the highest ranked fighter on our list, sitting at 5th in the bantamweight division. He's an excellent scrapper with a solid chin. What else could you want for a character in a video game? And with Munoz having an up-and-coming bout with Frankie Edgar this Saturday on ESPN 15, hopefully we'll see the young Punisher sooner than later inside the virtual octagon. Number 3, Calvin Kattar. Oh man, where to start with Calvin Kattar? He's fought a who's who in the featherweight division so far, and surprisingly only appears to be just getting started. Kattar burst onto the UFC scene, picking up back-to-back wins over Andre Touchy-Feely and Shane Burgos. His exclusion may come to surprise as many, as the featherweight stock is currently on the rise. With Kattar's impressive striking and willingness to trade with anyone on the roster, we really wish we could be using him right now in online ranked fights. Number 2, Vicente Luque. Whether it's submitting Nico Price, knocking out Chad Laprise, or just breaking Mike Perry's nose, Vicente Luque ends fights violently. And he definitely has that dark horse of the division feel. When's the last time you can remember seeing Luque in a boring fight? I can't. Even in defeat, Luque's exciting, like in his barn burner with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He's not afraid to take risks, and it shows in his highlight reel. EA has to put him in the game right away, so we can start breaking noses ourselves.
Overhand right by Vicente Luque in the pocket.
And number 1, Ryan Hall. If you were to walk down the street and ask 10 people what a killer fighter looks like, chances are 8 out of 10 are going to say something like this. But the educated fan knows the killers look like this. If you haven't seen Ryan Hall fight yet, it's only because opponents turn him down left and right. One look at his fight with BJ Penn and you realize he is the real deal. And opponents haven't even begun to solve the puzzle, which is his ground game, let alone his ever-evolving stand-up and kick game. Expect to see him crack the top 10 in his next outing. And maybe, just maybe, he'll show up in the next update. Because who wouldn't love to have an open weight fight between Damian Maia and Ryan Hall? And hell, throw a little bit of Fabricio Verdum in there for fun. Hopefully EA listens and gets the grappler in there ASAP. Well, that's my list, and I know there's plenty of other fighters that didn't make the roster. Let me know who you would have put in the game in the comments. Have a great day, guys.